Okay, it's 7 o'clock and we have this special session for anybody that happens to be, we have the anybody zooming in on this thing.
Somebody called Grandpa and Jack.
Okay, just to let them know that we had two items. One is to talk about replacing our town truck, both of which have become deceased in the last couple of months. And then we'll talk about filling a vacancy on council. So first of all, we're asking the town administrator to call the roll.
Yeah, Alex Bessett.
Here.
Daniel Grisco. Bill Heisen.
Here.
Eileen Morse.
Here.
Eddie Payne.
Yeah.
And then the mayor Smith here.
Okay, thank you. So I'm just gonna turn it over to Javier and he can explain to you the whole situation with the town maintenance vehicles. And how we might go about replacing the two of them with a better mode of transportation.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna read off of the staff report I slipped into your packet. Hopefully it'll provide a decent summary. As discussed last month, the town maintenance truck is inoperable and any further repairs to the vehicle is not advised. The presented budget amendment would appropriate $25,000 as discussed during the November 2024 town council meeting for the urgent purchase of a replacement truck. The budget proposal reappropriates $15,500 from the administrative department due to a decision to not change auditors this year towards the purchase. Takes an unexpected quote unquote revenue totaling $4,000 for a damage claim to the town, claim the town received on the F-150 accident earlier this year, and takes $5,500 from our expected annual growth in the reserve fund for this fiscal year for the purchase of a vehicle. And then this would only lead to a small reduction in our expected annual growth for the reserve fund at the end of this fiscal year, a change from a expected growth of $41,776 to $36,276. It's worth mentioning that this is a proposed budget to set an upper limit for the purchase of a replacement. Town staff will, as always, approach this with care and with a great deal, and try to get a great deal. The best return on the purchase, try to get the best return on a purchase for this replacement vehicle. As always, we're striving towards fiscal responsibilities in this decision. To summarize, I advise that the town council proceed with calling a public hearing for the December 16th, 2024 meeting for our budget amendment to establish a budget amount of $25,000 for the replacement of a maintenance vehicle. I've provided a budget summary, 7 pages. The easiest is just to look at the front page and you'll see the change in the annual growth. And then you'll see shifts in the revenue for the town, an increase by 4,000, and then a shift in expenditures from the administrative department and the capital improvement. So there on the front page, you'll see the broad strokes of what I summarized in the staff report. Yeah.
Any questions?
Yeah, the new police vehicle, is that been purchased? Is that not, when's that gonna be done?
We talked, I think most likely next year.
Oh, really? So they didn't get the new one this year?
No, they got the new one last year.
I thought the money was from the rescue squad was for purchasing a new police truck, a police vehicle, no?
They got an SUV last year.
Oh.
No, I think he's talking about something else.
The 75,000 from the, wasn't that supposed to go for a police vehicle?
Yeah, oh yeah, police truck and it hasn't been finalized yet.
Oh, okay, but you don't know when that'll happen?
I wish I did.
Huh?
I wish I did.
Are
Well,
you
the reason
still positive on that one, or is it, because I know you had to go back to the board and check.
But we haven't had a meeting since last time we discussed it, but the last meeting, we being that board's directors. We had decided that would be one of the non-profits that we donate to, who in turn will donate the vehicle to the town. Just somebody dragging the feet somewhere. But I'm sure it's some kind of legal thing.
But I thought the chief was gonna go ahead and
Yeah.
purchase a
Yeah.
vehicle for this year. I thought he ordered. Huh?
Ordered it, but it has not been purchased.
He can order it, but he doesn't have to
And he
accept.
canceled the order. Javier, Mr. Payne, and Chief and myself had a meeting last week, I guess it was, and talked about this, and the Chief explained how he's put the order in for the vehicle, but he can cancel it at any time, and it hasn't cost anybody anything yet.
Right.
So,
Well, the other thing is that I heard 2 things about using the current police vehicle for a maintenance vehicle. And I think that's a good idea. In fact, I was talking to George Goodwin. He said he ordered, when he bought that, it was for that purpose to actually turn it into a maintenance vehicle after the police were done with it. So if we're not gonna do that, I guess we could sell that, but
that's still the plan.
That's still the plan,
Still the
okay.
plan. This new vehicle is going to be a pickup truck. But it's gonna be a pursuit prepared pickup truck. This
Right.
one we have now, you can't do a whole lot of police stuff with it. And this will be like a regular police vehicle that can do what police vehicles do, But it'll be in the form of a pickup truck, and then we get that, this pickup truck will go to the town.
Okay,
Okay.
Or
That's the way the plan.
if this pickup truck's in worse shape. The other one,
Yeah, I
stay
think-
here, we'll do something with that.
yeah, I think the first thing would be to get an assessment of that, what it would cost if somebody bought it. And then, if we're gonna use that truck, that'd be great, but if we're not, we could sell it and, probably, ask the chief said, I haven't talked to him, he said it could be worth some money.
Yeah,
If we sold it, so that, you could transfer it that way.
I think this is a 25-26 fiduciary consideration.
For the police vehicle,
So I think.
we couldn't do it
Oh, yeah.
in this. How much does the police vehicle?
Haven't looked into that yet.
Do you know, Ed?
75.
It's right up, so.
Oh, the new ones.
I think the other thing that's gonna have to do with what we're talking about tonight is whether we wanna get a cheaper vehicle.
Yeah.
In the midterm for a year. Or if we want to, and bank on the possibility that we'll get a new
Yeah.
vehicle.
And then transfer it over.
I will say, we've seen that having multiple maintenance vehicles
Yeah,
has been beneficial. Even if they did break down, it's good to have a backup.
yeah.
It might be worth having a multi-purpose
Oh,
town
yeah,
vehicle
good idea. Yeah.
as the old police
Yeah.
truck. That we could use in
Yeah.
case of emergencies, use during
Agree.
snowstorms, things
Yeah,
like that,
good,
and then resupply our maintenance department, so they have something that's worth it.
Yeah,
Great.
the other, that's not a question, but I just, the old broken down vehicle. I've heard some people say they're interested in buying that, so I think, maybe we could post that. And, try to get a decent amount for, or at least something for that, I mean, even if you get a broken down vehicle, you can probably get $500,000 or something, so.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So maybe you could post that, on a bulletin board and say, for sale, vehicle, is that, somebody said I could get somebody to fix that up and get a truck for $1,000.
Yeah. To the point, we were able to claim the loss and they were able to salvage the F-150. I'll follow up on that. It's not really useful. It's sitting up in the
No, it's kind of,
shed.
What's the make and model?
It's a Chevy Colorado. Back.
it needs a new transmission, is that what it is? Yeah, okay.
So the only question I had was, and I probably should have asked this before, if we got $4,000 from the insurance claim. But we paid out $2,500 to get the building across the street fixed, do we really have $4,000 to go towards the vehicle?
The
We only
building
have
across.
$1,500.
Building across the street.
Oh, that's a good point. The insurance will cover that claim. So I'm gonna receive the return back, but for posterity, I paid out. Just to alleviate concerns, so they'll send me a check back for the difference on it for the repairs.
So the question is, should we call for a public hearing at our December 16th meeting to address this problem and make a decision?
Yes, and I will point out, you also have the work session to discuss it additionally, if
Yeah.
council feels comfortable.
Anybody feel so moved to make a motion that we call a public hearing on December 16th to consider the truck issue, make that motion.
So moved.
Second,
Second,
and any more discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, that takes care of the first item on the agenda pretty easily.
can I just, Javier, I had asked a while ago, what's in the long-term fund? And what is I'll go back to when Becky was here, she talked about having a certain amount that enables us to keep the triple-A status
Hmm.
for the town, right?
Yes.
You have to have so much percentage over whatever, there's a formula for it, right?
What I could do is maybe dig that up and bring it back to you during the.
I'd
work
like
session.
to, I'd like to know how much we have in there and what would be the baseline to have to where we wouldn't want to go under it so that we wouldn't want to jeopardize our AAA rating as a town. Right, how much play do we have in there? And I'm curious, not just for this transaction, but for the counselors coming in, potentially, it would be good to know from an emergency standpoint, what kind of buffer is actually in there.
They could report out to council for the work session.
Yeah, the work session would be fun.
That's a good question.
Has the 53,000 for the former grant, that will been returned to us?
I'm in the middle of it. Last week I was working on it, so I was talking to USDA, so I sent some stuff back. And I'll loop back with them because they're back from Thanksgiving, so I'm hoping we're on the right track.
So that's not included in this budget at all. It's including money right now.
No, it's in the expected revenue for this budget
Okay,
year.
okay, that's what
Yeah. Thank you.
one thing we had, something that we can spend that we don't.
Okay, anything else before we move on? Next item is the interim appointment to town vacancy. We have to go into closed session to initiate that process. So I asked Councilmember Morse to read the appropriate wording to get us into a closed session.
Okay, I move that the town council enter a closed meeting as authorized in subsection A of Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711. Specifically for interviews of prospective candidates for appointment as interim town council member to fill the vacancy following the resignation of Meredith Pond.
Okay, is there a second to that motion?
Second that.
And is there any discussion on that motion? All in favor?
Could we do a roll call, Mayor? Could we
Do
do
a
a
roll
roll?
call vote?
Yes, you have to.
Okay. And then town administrator?
Mr. Bassett,
Yes.
Mr. Grisco, Mr. Heisen,
Yes?
Ms. Morse,
Yes.
Mr. Payne.
Okay, well, with that being said, we would ask that the members of the audience adjourn to the hallway